Você atira correndo, você trola. A cada uma kill você trola tudo. Clebão da Pamonha, valeu pelos 10. Obrigado, Clebão. O que é esse vídeo aqui, cara? Opa! Olha aí, ó. Ranqueadas, modos, balanceamento dos agentes e mais.
Hi everyone, I'm Max, and I lead the various teams who design systems and core game mechanics within Valorant. As we head into Act 3 of Season 2026, I wanted to take a minute to check in on a few areas of the game that we know you all care about very much. We've seen a lot of healthy conversation from the community about things like...
Calma, guys, vocês querem que eu veja o português ou esse aqui tá bom? Eu tirar a legenda automática pra não ficar cagado. Ah, esse é o português.
LV7 mandou
Valeu, LV,
R$2,50.
tamo junto. Obrigado pelos 2.
Vi meu
10
Pix
minutos. Vejo. Espera aí que eu já vejo, lindo. Dá 5 segundos. O que você mandou aqui? Você sabe que esse cara me ajuda com uma coisa. Como planar com a jet pulando no scroll? Nossa, não sei também, lindão. Eu não pulo no scroll, eu pulo na barra de espaço. Mas alguém do chat vai saber responder.
Will Underline Games 11 mandou
Will, valeu pelos
2,50.
Obrigado, Will.
Posso ser seu mo no YouTube?
Não.
Trabalho de madrugada. Show livre de dia.
Systems, player behavior systems, and our
Eu
approach to
vou
limited
pensar
time
nisso
modes.
ainda.
So I want to jump into some of that now before I hand it over to Armand, Dan, and Tiffy to chat
Calma,
about
guys,
modes and live balance.
todo mundo já viu isso aqui e eu sou o último ou a gente tá vendo pela primeira vez?
First things first, the competitive experience.
Opa, esse é o
Our goal is
importante.
straightforward. Your rank should be a clear reflection of your skill, and the journey to get there should feel fair.
Perfeito.
We're going to be more proactive about testing and refining different approaches to matchmaking so we can land on a system that truly delivers on that promise.
Eles falam isso faz 6 anos e nunca mudou nada, irrelevante.
For example, in January, we made updates to our MMR system to better account for individual impacted matches. We're seeing some positive results here, especially around match quality. Games are less one-sided, and we're seeing more even contribution across players in the lobby.
Vocês tinham que mostrar pra gente esses dados, mano. Tipo assim, as partidas estão mais equilibradas. Como? Mostra os dados, mano. As rankeds que acabaram, tipo assim, uma diferença maior de 8 rounds. De antes e agora. Mostra, mano, porque senão parece que é só conversinha
At the same
fiada,
time,
mano.
some of the trade-offs have been pretty clear. We've heard your feedback around visible rank differences in matches, and the feeling that RR losses can outweigh RR gains. In some cases, we've also let some tuning exist in-game longer than we should have while we evaluated the results. One area we've been focusing on is making sure your effort in each match feels properly reflected in your rank. When that doesn't happen, it can feel like the system isn't respecting your performance. To address this, we recently adjusted how RR gains and losses are calculated so that strong performances are rewarded more, weaker ones cost more, and over time, your wins and losses should feel like they balance out appropriately.
Pô, da hora, cara. Vocês perceberam de ontem pra hoje isso aqui, guys? Tipo assim, se eu jogo muito bem, mato 25 e perco, eu perco pouquinho? É isso?
We want to be
Porque
more direct
isso vai me ajudar a me colocar no elo que eu mereço, que é o meu radiante. Tô louco?
about how we're approaching competitive overall. Matchmaking and ranked integrity are a major focus for us this year, and that means we're going to keep iterating. Ultimately, your rank needs to reflect your skill, and getting there should feel fair, consistent,
Não
and
mudou
worth the
nada.
effort.
Nada.
Now, to talk about the top of the leaderboard,
É,
we've
toda vez
heard the
eu me iludo, cara.
feedback from Immortal Plus around recent changes to our RR
Opa.
thresholds.
Cadê
We
o...
want the
Calma aí.
ba-
Cadê o...
Heard the feedback from Immortal Plus
Cadê o Judas era íntimo na
around recent changes to our
Cadê o touro
RR
reprodutor?
thresholds.
I miss
We
her.
want the battle for a spot on the Radiant ladder to be the pinnacle of competition and a reflection of performance, not just pure grind. Additionally, we need to ensure competitive integrity to know that performance is
Isso eles
legit.
fizeram
on
bem,
these
mano.
ladders.
Tá mais difícil
In
de
the short
pegar.
term, we've
Por
been
causa do
investing more
in-trade.
into anti-cheat and win trading detection methods to make
Por
sure the
causa do
players at the top
in-trade,
really
mas
deserve to
também
be
por
there.
causa do MMR.
We've already taken action this year on some of the most egregious.
E eu sinto que o fato de estar mais difícil de pegar radiante deixa o jogo mais gostoso, velho. Tipo assim, por isso que eu tô tão viciado no Valorant, cara. Porque é difícil, mano. Tipo assim, eu quero pegar hoje. Eu não sei se eu vou conseguir, tá ligado? Se eu conseguir vai ser muito da hora, mas eu não tenho certeza. Antes eu tinha certeza que eu ia pegar. Todo ato eu tinha certeza. Porque eu ganhava 35 pontos, perdia 18, 17. Agora não, mano. Tá difícil, velho. Eu preciso jogar bem.
Win traders, and we'll continue to
Isso é
do
bom,
so
isso é bom.
routinely. But longer term, we're looking at improvements to make earning Radiant act over act more
Agora
worth
sim.
it than it is today. And not just with systemic improvements, we're also working on specialized rewards for climbing to the very top. All right, now speaking of rewards, let's talk about ranked rewards for all players. I'm
Mais
happy to
chaveiro.
confirm that the V26 Act 3 and Act 6 ranked gun buddies this year will be the last time a gun buddy is your primary
Ué.
reward. And in
Ué, o que vocês vão dar pra
2027, you
nós?
don't need to wait until Act 3 to get your new reward.
Vocês vão dar
The
pra
next
nós
version of
agora?
our ranked rewards will be distributed on day 1 of Season 2027, and will be an item that evolves with you throughout your ranked journey for the
Da
entire year.
hora. Isso é da hora. Isso é da hora. Isso é da hora. Isso é da hora. Tipo assim... Não, se for um chaveiro que vai evoluindo elo após elo, é uma merda. Mas se for alguma coisa, sei lá, algum gesto de mão que vai evoluindo com o seu elo, aí é da hora, mano. Eu gosto.
Yes, we originally hoped to get you all new ranked rewards this year, but we're taking a little more time to make sure we get them right. We'll share more on what you can expect from rank rewards in September. We want you to feel recognized for your dedication and growth every single act you play. So, there's a lot more we're bringing to the ranked experience that you'll see in-game closer to champs. Competitive queue is the reason the vast majority of you play Valorant.
É verdade.
So we're investing heavily to make every aspect of our in-game systems paint a more complete picture of your ranked journey while giving you the tools you need to improve and flex your mastery. Now, I'm gonna hand things over to Armand to talk about our plans for modes.
Tá, da hora, guys. Só que
Since the end
vocês
of
falaram que não
2025,
mudou
we've
nada,
been
né, nos
experimenting with
PDL.
new limited time game modes to
Caralho,
learn more
antebraço
about what
dele,
you
cara.
love and what you don't.
Ó o antebraço do
And
Armand.
so far, we've been excited by what excites all of you. You all loved skirmish and customs, so we brought it to the queue. And when we took it away, you let us know that you weren't ready to say goodbye.
Guys, vocês jogam 1v1 ou 2v2? Ou não? Vocês jogam isso ou não?
So we brought it back. And then we added a new flavor of skirmish with an experimental rank ladder. And that's just skirmish. We also have plans to keep iterating and tinkering with other modes like knockout, all random one site, and even an old fan favorite. We hear all of you replication fans out
No.
there in the comments. So I'm happy to share that we're
tá mais
currently
ou menos
working on a new
50-50,
mode that
não tá?
blends replication with
Ó,
all
tem uma
random
galera
one
assim
site.
aí, cara.
We think it'll give you the off-the-wall moments that you all enjoyed
Pode tá
about
mais ou menos
replication at
metade.
an even higher frequency. Replication is a mode
Que
that's all about fun
replication,
factor
mano?
and hilarious
O que você
interactions.
tá falando,
and we think
Armand?
all random one site creates
Quem
those
que
moments
quer- quem
more
quer jogar
frequently,
replication,
more
fio?
ults, more abilities, and getting different agents every round.
Vagabundo
all
chegou
on a
do
single
trabalho,
site.
8 horas de trabalho,
After
vai
that,
jogar
we've
duas
got plans for a
partidas.
new take on a spike mode that'll
Vai
put
jogar
your skills to the
replication.
test with shortened rounds and smaller teams. You'll see more on this in a few weeks when Act 4 starts. And we might even have one more surprise up our sleeve for Act 5. Think KO
Isa, valeu
combat
pelo
simulation
sub.
gone
Obrigado.
haywire. I'll leave it at that for now. Just know that it's super fun and super different from anything we've done so far, and we think you're gonna love it. You'll hear more from me and the team about that in September. As always, keep the feedback coming. Now, over to Dan and Tiffy to chat more about live balance.
Bora de
Hi,
live
everyone.
balance.
Hey gamers.
Ah, eu conheci
All right,
eles.
let's talk game balance. We're gonna walk you all through what we've been seeing since our larger set of changes that we shipped late last year and go into why we're making some of the updates you're going to see this year.
At a more philosophical level, all of our changes are aimed at supporting the different layers of decisions you make within Valorant.
For Valorant, the core game needs to support things like different team compositions, a variety of attacker and defender strategies, and keep a mechanically deep and sound combat system.
So, when we make a change
Calma aí, por que colocaram exatamente... Alô? Alô? Salve! Só acabando o vídeo aqui, cara. Bom demais. Pera aí, já vem.
Strategies, and keep a mechanically deep and sound combat system.
So, when we make a change to an agent, map, or weapon, it's usually because one of those layers of decisions is no longer impactful, interesting to engage with, or relevant.
Toward the end of last year, we rebalanced a huge chunk of the roster to keep in-the-moment combat decisions easier to process and highlight them more in
Opa,
gameplay.
opa.
And while we're largely happy
Clutchzinho
with
do
where
Vic,
we've landed
pai.
there directionally, that said, we do think those updates affected round-over-round strategy and team play iteration a little bit more than we would have liked for the long term.
Moving cooldowns above 40 seconds has allowed us to get cleaner fights later in the round, so that in
Certo.
clutch moments you have fewer variables to account for. But at 60 seconds, this change hasn't allowed as much room for teams to adapt their
Ah,
strategies
eles vão diminuir
each
de
round.
volta.
So, with patch 13.0, we'll be tuning down the increased cooldown on signature abilities for initiators a little bit,
Cara,
from 60 to 50 seconds.
ok.
And on the weapons-
Ok. Acho que é ok. Acho que é ok. 10 segundos. 60 é muito, mano.
We're currently
Eu acho
looking
que é
to
da hora, porque eles voltaram atrás. Eles não foram, né,
ship some buffs for the Bandit in
orgulhosos.
13.0.
Da hora.
These are intended to make it a little bit more of a viable option outside of pistol rounds,
Ah,
similar to the
Bandit é uma
ship.
merda.
Now, onto specific agents. To start the year, we targeted a few that were pushing things a little bit out of our boundaries.
Yoru was doing too much on his own, especially with how quickly he could rotate,
Yoru
which
morto.
made sentinels like Vito
Neon
less
morta.
appealing. And Clove, they were crowding
Clove
out the controller
morta.
space, particularly in range,
A Ranked é
having
boa de
too much
novo.
impact on spike sites
novo.
after death.
And Waylay was getting away with a little bit too much for her team, with minimal planning, commitment, or risk. to
Waylay
herself.
morta. Nossa, que jogo gostoso que vai estar agora, velho. Sem Judge, sem Neon. Sem Clove. Tá ligado? Ah! Não é possível, velho.
We've pulled them back in recent patches, and they're in healthier spots. We're also seeing better pick diversity overall, and we think keeping agents unique is key to sustaining long-term diversity.
Which brings us to Neon.
At the time of filming, many of the changes that Dan and Tiffy talked about in this section were originally scheduled to come out a little over a month from now with patch 13.0. We wanted to take some extra time to test these changes because we believe Neon, shotguns, and weaker sentinels are all wrapped up into one problem space, and also to make sure that any of our changes maintain Neon's ability to zip across the ground at lightning speed. But honestly, we've been feeling the shotgun-wielding Neons in our own games, and we're hearing it loud and clear from all of you. So, we're bringing you these changes today, even if they're a little rougher around the edges. To correct the information shared in the video, you might notice some subtle vocal overdubs and visual cues. We apologize for the inconvenience.
We've seen a lot of talk and discussion about Neon lately, and while we agree, Neon can be hard to deal with and frustrating at times, we also know that not everyone in the game is able to lock in with her and turn into Danby.
Guys, isso aqui eu vou pular que eu já sei, né? As escopetas estão uma merda e a Neon tá uma merda, né? Eu já sei, já.
Combat space. So, we've got some changes in
today business while keeping her ability to shoot and slide. We're mostly just looking to add some
harder to pull off those kinds of kills versus
Sentinelas eu quero ver o que mudou, mano. Porque o jogo começou. Sentinelas eu queria ver o que mudou, cara. O que mudou de sentinela, velho? Peraí que a gente já continua vendo. O Candy, valeu pelos 23, tamo junto. Guys, a gente tá com um delayzinho pra conseguir jogar Rankeds em paz hoje.